Hello, welcome back. Today we're working on my Evo 9, pretty much as always. We're going to be installing this thing. It's a fusible link off an Evo 10. Comes with this part and this part, and it's going to be sick. The reason why we're putting an Evo 10 fusible link on my Evo 9 is to fix this mess. So as you can see, it is an aftermarket battery. It has been relocated. Generally they sort of sit there and they're quite bigger. So that's a smaller battery. That's a full River HC28. This car does have some sound system stuff happening. It has 2 amps, a big old 12-inch sub in the back, and 4 speakers all around. As such, there is some wiring in the bay that works, but it's not pretty. Underneath all this electrical tape is the Evo 9 fusible link, which usually just sits on the positive connection of the battery. That one down there. Everything's running to it. It shambles. The positive wire is black on the car, which kills me. That big old red wire down in there that you see runs inside to the amp. Basically, it's just shambles. It's gross. I don't like it. So we're going to try and sort that out. Mount this thing down in here somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where, because I don't know where it's going to fit. Either down in there or back there somewhere, or well, probably not there, but you get the idea. Somewhere down in that schmozzle. So to start with, let's pull the battery out, get that out of the way, and then we can see what we're dealing with. So as you can see, it's a full custom tray to hold the full River battery in. It's not the prettiest thing I've ever seen, but it does the job. It works pretty well. It's pretty sturdy, very sturdy. So what I'm thinking is that we can possibly make a little bracket up to fit this to that. Make up a little plate and sit that on the side next to it, maybe somehow. Like if we stick this over here, like so. Maybe it'll fit down in this little gap here. That'd be quite neat. Tidy, out of the way. Obviously we're gonna have to tidy up that wiring and do something with that earth. That's all the negative strap that's in the way there, but that's what I'm thinking at this stage. Alright, I picked up these 2 little brackets. The plan is to mount these to that. Probably we'll just rivet it like it's been done already. And then we will mount that on top of there. Like so. There were bigger ones of these, but they were too thick and we don't have a lot of room to play with between here and between the front of the ABS pump, which is that thing, I believe. Here's a bit of double-sided tape just to sort of mock these up where they're going to go before I rivet it, just to make sure it all fits properly. That's going to sit on there. Alright, let's see if this is going to work. Okay, so we're hitting on our negative strap. Not by much though. If we bring them up a little bit, I reckon we'll be alright. But we need to make sure this fits in under there, which it doesn't. Shit. Right, took a little bit of messing around, but that's pretty much how I think it's going to sit. Pretty much right at the front, hanging over past the battery, but it's the only way I can sort of get it in there without really drastically changing the cables, which I don't really want to do because I've never really done too much with that. So I think that's how it's going to sit. My only concern now is the negative strap for the battery is going to sit there, and we will have cables running out of here, but I think it should be fine. I'm pretty sure. That will be quite nice. Obviously it is bright red. I might paint it. I know you can get different covers for it. I'm just trying to work out orientation because I want to sit that there like that, but I think the issue is that this strap needs to go on this top post, which is the 140 amp fuse, but it doesn't really reach, and the only way I can get it is to come from the front. And I'll have to file down this little bit of plastic. I don't really want to do that if I can help it, so I don't know, maybe I have to mount it somewhere else. So I got to play around with it a bit and see what I can work out, because it is proving to be a challenge. I'm also going to pull this metal bracket out because it is now not doing anything. It's just flopping around in there, joining all the cables, but since it's got no mount, it's literally pointless. So let's pull that out and then we should have a bit more freedom with the cables, hopefully. This is where we're at. I've been playing around with it. I've got pretty much all the wires hooked up to where they're meant to go, except for this one because I need to trim this up, but this has got plenty of slack, so I'm not worried about that one. I think it'll sit in there like that. I'm not sure if we're gonna get the red cover on it. We might have to modify the cover because of how we're running this. We have to modify, pull a bit of plastic off here so we can run that out the side. So I think it will sit like that. It should be okay, I think. I gotta cut a bit out of this bracket so that this wire doesn't foul on anything. We can get it back in there properly. But I think that's pretty much how it's gonna be. I'm just gonna send it and hope it works. Fingers crossed that it works. Otherwise, we're putting our 9-1 back in and we're putting it back to how it was. And we're not gonna worry about it. But I think it's gonna work. And it should be a lot neater, so I'm excited for that. Peeling this freaking sticker off is probably one of the most frustrating experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Anyway, we got it modified to fit the battery cable through. What else have I done? I think that's it. I've just been here peeling this damn sticker for 10 minutes and that's how far I've gotten. Update. We're filing the sticker off. We'll use the rough one and then we'll go to a bit of a nicer one to finish it off. Okay, we got one down, one to go. Unfortunately, we end up using that and that. It's miserable, but we'll get there. Finally got these tidied up. Let's bang some wax and grease remover on them and some paint. Alright, those two are drying. Definitely not the best paint job I've ever done. In fact, it's probably the worst. It started raining a little bit on that one. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. They're black, that's the main thing. Considering a lot of this in here is going to have to be painted one of these days eventually. Anyway, we'll run that. Let's see if we can tidy this up a little bit in the meantime while we wait for that other stuff to dry. Update, those are mostly dry. I'm about to drill the holes in this so we can rivet those onto that. That's the plan. We modified this. We had to cut it down on either side and the top of it to make that fit. We didn't have to modify that one, or that one. We've had to bend a few to make them fit. I got the first bracket on, I fucked that hole up, so I had to put one there. My bad. Anyway, whatever, it's on, it's pretty sturdy. That'll definitely hold this in quite well. So let's get the second one on, drilled. Second one drilled and then mounted. Alright, we've got it mounted. We only ended up using one bracket. Unfortunately, this crease here is starting to get quite weak, and I'm worried that if I mess around and drill another one, that's going to snap, and then I'm going to be in trouble because I don't have a welder, I can't weld it, and I don't have anything to replace that. So we're just going to run one bracket for now. That's still mounted on there pretty good, so I think it'll be okay. I'd like to fix it properly eventually, but that's how we're running it for now. So I'm going to pull this part off, connect everything, put the battery in, put that on, connect that, and hope the whole thing doesn't catch fire. If it does, there's a fire extinguisher up there, but we'll be okay, I think. I have to modify the side of this to fit over where we're running this connection, where we're running that wire, so that'll sit down in there. Oh, nice and snug. I did get a bit excited there, but that should do the job, so it should sit like that. Now I think we're pretty much up to putting it all together. We've got our positive wire ready to go, negative straps good to go. All the wires are hooked up to the fusible link. I'll show you where I ran them all. So we run this one to the top. That's on the 140 amp fuse. It says the fuse is on here. And then the three small ones all go to 80. We'll run power to the sub and positive to the top. Can't quite get this down past this line running to the ABS pump, so I have to take this off, mount this, and then attach that. Alright, the battery and the bracket is mounted. Nice. Now let's bang in the bottom part of the fusible link. And bang that part on it. Bang that wire on it. Bang that wire on it. Bang that wire down there somewhere on the way, and then pull that thing over there, and then fucking see dynamite. I put it on backwards. Alrighty, much better. Now we can bang that on there. Bang this one on here. Like so. And then run this guy up and through there somewhere. Let me do that with 2 hands. Alright, that's how it sits. It's in, it's connected. All I gotta do now is connect the positive and the negative straps to the battery, and then hope it doesn't explode. I think it'll be okay. It does look a lot neater. It doesn't quite sit as perfect as I would like it. Put this on like that. That sits in there pretty well. I did scratch the top of that, which I'm a bit disappointed about. And it doesn't quite sit perfect, so I may mess around with it. It's just like not quite straight, but it's pretty good. Obviously I have to put the strut brace back on, but I'm gonna do that after I get the car going to make sure it all works. I will have to pull the strut brace off every time I want to pull that off, unless I just leave that off, but I'd say I'll put the cover on because it looks a lot better. Either way, I don't have a tangled mass of electrical tape anymore, which is pretty cool. It still is pretty messy. In the future I'd like to really do something better, probably relocate the battery to the boot and mount that properly, but for now that's a lot neater. So let's plug the battery in and see what happens. Alright, the car's back together, so we better make sure it starts. It lives! All done. That was fun. That was a good challenge. I was nervous about it. I have been putting off doing that for quite some time. I've never even pulled a battery out of a car before completely. So to mess around with all that was sick. It's a lot better. As I said, it doesn't quite sit perfectly. It's on a bit of a like that. So I will sort that out in the future. One of these days the battery is going to end up in the boot and we'll mount it differently. But for now, that's a big improvement. Car didn't explode. Very cool. Thanks for watching. Now go watch this video. Goodbye.